Out in the bone-chilling, skin-cutting waves of the North Atlantic, there's only one creature that makes men stare down storms and death itself: the giant Atlantic bluefin tuna. Not because it's beautiful, but because a single fish has sold for $1.8 million in Tokyo, enough to buy a house outright. To even get a shot at that treasure, fishermen have to cross into water they call the line between life and death. Waves towering like concrete walls, water so cold it can kill you in minutes, and a half-ton monster that can drag an entire boat around like a toy. One explosive run, and the rod snaps clean in half. One heartbeat of slack, and the line wraps your leg, and a grown man vanishes beneath the surface before he can even scream. Yet every single year they go back, because one perfect fish can wipe out every debt, rebuild the boat, and keep an entire family fed and safe for a whole year. A $1.8 million bluefin isn't just a trophy, it's a roll of the dice played with human lives. The story starts on the wind-bitten coasts of Nova Scotia, the Gulf of Maine, and Newfoundland, places so cold in winter that if you stand outside too long, your nose goes numb and you're not even sure it's still attached to your face. That's where the bluefin, the jet fighter of the ocean, moves quietly in the dark. Huge, fast, jacked, and worth so much money that when you finally hook one, you can literally feel fortune breathing down your neck. To touch that luck, you've got to run into water American fishermen call a one-way ticket with no warranty. Out there, waves aren't waves anymore. They're moving buildings made of water. Wind isn't wind. It's a cold razor blade with a grudge. And the fish you're trying to bring up? Way stronger than anything you've ever imagined. A 400 to 600 pound bluefin can drag a 35-foot boat hundreds of yards like it's pulling a plastic toy. Believe it or not, one sashimi-grade fish can put 20 to 60 grand in a fisherman's pocket in a single morning. A perfect one can top 100 grand. But the price might be your life, your fingers, your arm, your boat, or everything at once. So tell me, would you go out and try to land $1 million giant bluefin just once? Drop a 1 in the comments if you're crazy enough. Now put yourself on that boat. A steel hull shaking like it's scared, 30-foot seas, salt water hitting your face like buckshot, and you've got yourself strapped to a half-ton living missile that's trying to rip the rod out of your hands and take your shoulder with it. That's not an occupation. That's gambling with the ocean. Before we chase that $1 million fish, let's understand why men are willing to stare death in the face for it. Bluefin tuna aren't like any fish you've ever seen. If salmon are sprinters, bluefin are Ironman athletes built by nature to go farther, faster, and longer than anything chasing them. Their dark red muscle is so packed with myoglobin, it looks more like beef than fish. They can raise their body temperature above the surrounding water, a superpower almost no other fish has, letting them hit 43 miles per hour, dive deeper than 3,000 feet, and swim marathons across the ocean from the Gulf of Mexico to Iceland like it's no big deal. A big adult can top 900 pounds. In Nova Scotia, anything over 1,000 pounds is called a grander, a legit sea monster. So why does a wild animal sell for millions? The answer is Tokyo, specifically the Toyosu market, where Japan's sushi culture crowns Bluefin the undisputed king. The first giant fish of the year, the Hatsumono, is a huge deal. Whoever buys it gets luck for the whole year and front-page headlines. That's why restaurant owners are happy to drop insane money just to see their name in the paper. Sushi chain owner pays $1.8 million for first tuna of the year. Best advertising money can buy. Toro, the fatty belly meat, can go for $250 to $350 a pound. One 500-pound fish can bring a restaurant tens of thousands in profit. So yeah, 1.8 million sounds nuts until you realize that one fish can boost a brand's sales by millions over the next few years. And that's how the cycle of money, blood, and ocean starts spinning. Back in the North Atlantic, guys like Bill, John, and Marcel spend their whole lives chasing that one shot. Some never get it. Some get it, and the fish wins, yanks the harpoon out of their hand, or snaps a $2,000 rod in half. Some never come home.
We lost it. Hold on tight.
Every time they leave the dock, they know Noe logs days with 45 to 50 miles per hour sustained winds, water temps of 39 to 43 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you go overboard without a survival suit, you've got maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Not enough time to scream, not enough time to think about your life, yet they still go. Because sometimes one fish is enough to pay off the house, put the kids through school, fix the old boat, or just live 1 year without looking over your shoulder at the bank. Finding them in an ocean so big you couldn't drive across it in a lifetime is its own battle. Bluefin don't hang out on the surface, leaving footprints. They ghost along 60 to 250 feet down, where the light is just a faint silver haze. On the boat, the sonar paints thin streaks of hope. Fishermen learn to read every flicker. Is that herring? Is that bait? Or is that the shadow of a 1,000-pound rocket? Miss one mark and you burn a whole day. Nail it once and you might have just found the payday of the season. Up above, a tiny spotter plane the size of a pickup truck circles low enough you can see the wingtips flex. The pilot has what fishermen call North Atlantic eagle eyes. One flash of silver from a school chasing bait and the radio crackles. North, now. Move fast. They're here.
They're here.
Game on. Engines roar. The bow slams into waves like it's riding a mad bull, salt and diesel stink mixing in the freezing air. You've got minutes, maybe seconds, before the school sounds and vanishes. When the plane makes its last pass and says, "They're right under you," nobody talks. Live herring hit the water, still kicking, laying down a scent trail Bluefin can't ignore. A thin chum line drifts like silver confetti. The whole boat holds its breath. One loud inhale could spook the school. Then the rod tip barely nods, like the ocean just winked at you. And boom, no warning.
All right, reel.
Just a twitch. Then the surface explodes. The reel screams, not a whir, a straight-up metal death scream, as something 10 times stronger than any man rips line off at blistering speed. The spool blurs white hot. Touch it, and you'll lose skin. The bluefin doesn't run. It evacuates the area like its life is worth more than the whole ocean. The boat lurches forward, bow digs, green water pours over the rail.
Watch the line, she's pulling hard.
One guy slips. The harness yanks him so hard it leaves bruises the size of dinner plates. On the sonar, the fish is just a tiny blinking dot at the edge of the screen. Every yard of line gone is money and survival bleeding out.
Hold steady on that line. Get tight. He's moving fast, keep him coming.
Then it flips the script. Out of the black, it rockets straight up. The ocean detonates again. A silver freight train launches clear of the water, tail walking, slamming the line with a crack like a bullwhip. One of those tail hits can take fingers clean off.
Hold the line steady. Keep the pressure on. Don't let him run.
The guy on the rod is shaking, not from fear, from pure muscle failure. Every time he pumps and gains a foot of line, the fish rips 10 back. It starts circling tighter, trying to spool the boat into a death spiral. The ocean turns angry, wind screams, two-story waves smash the deck. The air smells like diesel, blood, and terror.
We're taking on too much water. Secure the main line. Watch the starboard side. Hold the line steady. We're losing the net. Bring it up faster. Big wave coming. Brace yourselves.
When the fish finally tires, it doesn't quit pretty. It makes one last desperate dive that heels the boat so hard everyone thinks she's going over.
Check the rods. They're shaking loose.
The gaff man sprints to the rail, plants his feet, and drives steel home right behind the gill plate. Blood pours dark red. One last shudder rocks the deck. Then silence. The ocean holds its breath. Even the wind pauses. A silver giant heavier than any man on board slides across the deck like a small submarine running out of fuel. In that moment, you get it. Out here, winning isn't landing the fish. Winning is the whole crew still being alive to land it. But catching it is only chapter 1. The second the fish is on deck, they bleed it, slicing precise arteries so the meat stays bright red. 3 slow minutes, and you just turned a 20-grand fish into a 2-grand fish. Then it's packed in ice or slid into a minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit superfreezer, so the flesh stays ruby red. After that begins a whole new race against the clock. North Atlantic to Tokyo, usually less than 36 hours door to door.
Clear on the left side.
Fish that weigh 350 to 650 pounds get loaded onto planes in refrigerated boxes like silver coffins carrying a family's future. On the other end in Japan, inspectors wait with core samples, checking color, shine, fat content, marbling. If it's perfect, the price skyrockets and pieces of that fish end up on plates in Ginza, where one bite of toro can cost 50 to 100 bucks. But this isn't a fairy tale. Behind every million-dollar fish is an ecological tragedy. Between the 1970s and 2010, Atlantic bluefin populations crashed 80 to 90%, driven by exploding sushi demand and illegal fishing in the Mediterranean. Organized crime built black market pipelines worth hundreds of millions a year, laundering fish through ports in Tunisia, Libya, and Malta. Take out an apex predator, and everything below starts to collapse. Prey fish explode, other predators starve, the whole ocean gets sick. Then something remarkable happened. Strict quotas from ICCAT and NOAA, closed seasons, size limits, and catch and release programs actually worked. Since about 2015, the population has been rebounding, one of the rare times humans hit the brakes before it was too late. Question is, did we save them for science, or because the industry is worth billions? Back in Nova Scotia, the little boats are heading out again. A bearded captain with wind-frozen whiskers and bloodshot eyes stares at the black water. He knows one moderate storm can ruin everything. One bad pull can drive a hook through his hand. One powerful run can snap the rod and wrap the line around his leg like a noose. But he goes anyway. Because if he stays home, he'll always wonder, was today the day the million-dollar fish swam right under my boat? One bluefin can change a man's life and his family forever. But what does the ocean get when it loses one of its most important creatures? That's the paradox. One side is survival, the other side is the survival of the sea itself. Neither side is really wrong. The ocean has never been gentle. It gives and it takes, sometimes in the same heartbeat. Every time a giant bluefin breaks the surface, you feel it. This fair fight between two living things, man and nature. No clear winner, no clear loser. Just life, death, luck, and loss all mixed together in a song we still haven't figured out. So here's the hardest question of all. When we eat the best sushi in the world, are we also eating the last chapters of a legend that lives under the waves? The ocean doesn't answer. It just keeps sending waves to the shore over and over, like it's trying to tell us, look closer at what you're taking before it's gone forever. If you want more stories where survival, money, and nature crash into each other hard enough to keep you up at night, Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so we can keep bringing you the hidden stories of the sea. Because the ocean is still talking, and it has never once shut up.